You're watching New Car Spin. This is the 2019 Ram Rebel. This thing is badass, and we are going to take this for a drive here at the off-road park. And 4x4, yep, we can do that here today. I'm Brian, and inside is Nick Cappa with Ram. He is the truck guy. He is Mr. Ram himself. So, hey Nick, how you doing?
Doing good, Brian. How you doing?
Good, all right.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to be here. All right, I'll let you hold that.
This is where we do that whole handshake thing, huh? I'm going to figure out how to use this thing. All right.
Okay.
So if I hold it up like this, does this get us going there? Does that work?
Yeah, that's it. It's
all right,
pretty
that's kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
I can't tell if I'm on it, but I get much matter. So this is the 2019 Ram Rebel. We made some changes to it for this model year. Some of the things just got improved, but there's some obviously a all new interior system. You can see here too, and the designers would be mad at me if I didn't point out that you have this dual color stitching, even so small details, upper and lower boxes. This center console right here actually has 12 different configurations on it, a 2-tier storage.
Nice.
And leave it to a Ram 1500 to come up with a place to stick your cell phone.
Exactly.
And stay there rather than what else. Obviously, we have the 8.4-inch screen. And in the back, you have plenty of room with a real flat load floor. So nice. You can actually sleep back there if you have your... And I'm not saying I've done that, but you could, right? So we're going to go ahead and start up. We're going to go play.
All right, let's get that AC going.
Yeah. Now, some of the features that are unique to this truck that nobody else has is a 4-corner air suspension system that's adjustable here. Nice. Obviously, stability control is off because we're in 4-low and the truck does that automatically.
Yeah, let me show that too, actually. Oh, I got it. Okay, so the controls are right here for that. It's 4-low. And, oh, we have an axle lock. Nice.
And hill descent control.
Hill descent control.
Right there.
Oh, right there, yeah,
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Now, we're in 4-low, so the truck automatically knows that we don't need the park sensors because if we're 4-low, it's probably because we're wheeling, and those things will just be beeping at us all the time.
Yeah.
So we turn that off. On the USB inputs, Type-C and regular USB inputs, so that's actually something that connects straight to the Uconnect system. You have them in the back as well. Okay. And, of course, 115-volt outlet, too.
Nice. And then our digital display in the center. Very cool. Let's see. Let's turn that fan this way. Sometimes the fan messes up the mic on this camera.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
Sensitive camera.
Yeah.
That's great.
And, whoa. There we go. So these videos are, for this year, I'm just not editing. This is raw. We're just shooting and we're just going to post it. So
this is going to be interesting, man.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, free for all.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll do the driving and you'll do the cameraman work. And,
I'm going to do my best to hold this thing still then,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
Do you think it sees you there? Does that work?
That's good.
Okay,
yeah.
let's do it, man. So you're in 4-low. You got the 400 horsepower torque multiplied to that Hemi V8, 5.7 liter, through the 8-speed transmission and the transfer case. Now, 4-low, people be saying, well, I'm 4-low, I don't need 4-low. You can go faster and 2-high. I'll challenge anyone to a 0 to 50 using 4-low versus their 2-high or even 4-high. Because the torque multiplier allows you to pound through the gears so much faster, and you get up to the rev limit in this thing around 45, and we'll experience that in here in a couple minutes.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what car number this is?
14.
Okay. So, yeah, you were saying last night when we were having dinner, like, there's the torque multiplier, and there's no need to take it out of 4-low.
Mm-hmm.
What number? 14. 14. BG. Gotcha. Thank you.
So not only that, you can have all 4 tires spinning, plus it turns a different tune of the stability control system so it lets you rip. So let's hold right here and wait till that vehicle in front of us, which is traveling much slower than we're going to,
Okay.
gets out of the way. Now, you've got 4-corner air suspension. Also, you've got Bilstein shocks, all 4 corners. So they're monotube design. They allow the heat dissipations a lot better. So you can pound them all day long without them fading. And that's a true benefit for this truck. Not only that, everyone else here is running a leaf spring configuration for their suspension. Do you know what their M1500 has?
Coil.
Link coil. But on this truck, it's link air. So you have air suspension replacing, airbags replacing the coils on all 4 corners. So you have an improved ride, and even more so because now we're the only ones that can do that because we have a way to implement it rather than a leaf spring.
So I like the Limited. So this is basically the same suspension that the Limited has?
Oh, a little bit different, more tuned for off-road.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was something else that improved for 2019 on the Rebel because we had so much success with it with the earlier previous generation. So we went ahead and improved this model a little bit more. We also added a quad cab to it, and you can get it now in just steel suspension rather than air.
Wow.
That's
That's
19.
really cool.
So what I want you to do is I want you to drop the hammer right here. I'm going to turn your locker on to give you as much traction as possible, and I don't want you to lift until I tell you, okay? Does that work? I'll tell you when to get on the brakes. You don't need to get on the brakes hard. You just got to get on going. So drop it, dude.
Okay, you want to put the camera towards the trail?
You got it, man.
Just in case?
So you're going to notice that at some point in time, it's not going to accelerate anymore. That's because you've rev limited in 4 low.
Okay.
But I want you to note how fast you're going at that point in time, just to give you an idea that that's the only reason you wouldn't use 4 low is if you were speed limited. If you need to do 70 miles an hour down a wash,
Yeah.
you're going to go into 4 high. But if it's this kind of stuff, creepy crawl, and you're only going to have these small instances where you're really moving ass, then you just go ahead and put it in 4 low, and it works well.
Nice. So hammer down?
Go. Don't lift. So you're topped out. You feel that?
Yeah.
So yeah. But that's plenty fast, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you could do that all day long in 4 low and keep the torque multiplier, not have the nannies coming in, the stability control. The truck works really well.
I'm waiting for the cops.
But that's something too. The stability control is a great system for people who really need help and want to be able to know that driving and the system's going to be there for them. But if you're off-road and you're going to be spinning tires and stuff, you want to be able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And the truck's built for it. We test it all day long, beat the heck out of it all day long for that kind of thing.
That's what a Rebel does.
You got it. All right, let's continue on.
Cool.
So what you're seeing up here is a bit of a departure angle. We're going to come down into this wash basin here. Now, normally this water pool that you see off here to the left is like comes all the way through here, which makes this pretty much quicksand. You ain't getting out of it.
Okay.
So when we cut this course yesterday, we were thinking, all right, well, let's put a little hill, like a side hill maneuver in here. Now it's pretty trenched out now, but you can just really slowly go through this, and you can see the natural buildup on the left-hand side will keep the truck inside the lines. Yesterday when we were creating this, there was a lot of risk to go down in that puddle and have to get pulled out by a tractor. Because I don't care how much traction you got, unless you're running 44-inch tires and lockers front and rear, you ain't getting out of that. So it's just an angle. You can see from the camera that the camera's actually doing what it's supposed to do. It's pretty
the gimbal,
funny.
That's the whole point of the
smart.
gimbal, yeah.
So go to the right a little bit here.
Okay.
You want to avoid that hole off to the left. And you see how the dirt turns color up here?
Yes.
You know why it's turned color?
It's wet.
Nope, it's because we've been digging it, digging it out. So get her out here, and then what I want you to do is I want you to pound it through the sweeper and just drift, because you're in 4 low.
Okay.
And you got plenty of speed, and the stability control's tuned for the off-road.
And the axle lock is on.
You got it.
Okay.
So drop through it now. Just don't overcorrect through it. Hammer. There you go. Okay, right, go right, go right. There you go. Nice job, man. All right. So right here, I want you to go right, and then straight up those tracks right there.
Okay.
So at this point in time, you just creep up this hill, because we're getting a little more chop and these crosshatches. This is Mother Nature's way of getting even with the planet. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to bump up the air suspension system, so we can get a little more clearance. So I'm going to bring you all the way up and add like 1.5 inches of ground clearance to the truck through the air suspension system. And you're going to go through this mud puddle. Now, the mud puddle, we've been playing in and out of a lot. We splash a lot, but every time we hit it harder, we lose water out of our jacuzzi, and it kind of puts a hole in everybody's fun.
Yeah.
So do what you can to go through it. Have fun with it, but just try not to pull too much water out of it, because it spills out the other side. You can pick whatever line you want, because the Rebel's got 33-inch tires and plenty of ground clearance. Stop here. There's a big drop-off, so just go real slow. Just creep down this part. You're probably going to want to clean your windshield.
Okay.
Just push that button in on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Now, what I want you to do here is this is an articulation event up here. So I want you to drive through the roughest part of it, because I want to show you how you drop that 33-inch tire into a hole, and it's okay. The truck's really good with suspension articulation. That rear link coil suspension system, or link air on this truck, helps a lot, and it flexes. So you can...
So while it's down there, you want to get out and walk around it?
Sure.
Let's do that.
So let's put you in a more precarious position first.
Okay.
So go ahead and drive a little further, and I'll tell you when we're going to get some flex going in the suspension.
Awesome.
So turn left. And just keep it in there. Now look to that left rear tire. Is the suspension all pulled out of it yet? Or is it compressed?
Move that mirror down a little bit. No, it's down.
It's pulled all the way down?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go take a look then. Let's park it here. I'll hand you the camera since you know how to operate this thing. So something we do really well with the Rebel is the suspension articulation. So I can stuff that front left into the fender well and drop out that rear and still keep all the tires on the ground at all times and still have plenty of breakover angle to clear the obstacle. So you want the tires on the ground. If the tires are on the ground, they're not giving you traction. And even 1 out of 4, if you're missing it, that's something that could prevent you from getting through an obstacle.
Exactly. Oof, man, it's getting warm out there.
Yeah, it is. So coming up here, we got another one of those cross hatches. It's about 60 feet in front of you. It's kind of invisible until you hit it, so just be careful of that.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So this next piece of it is you're going to give a little love to the tree on the left-hand side. So cut left, pretty decent, and it's okay to rub a little bit there. We don't just want to stay out of that hole, but at the same time, we don't want to run over the forest. So there's actually a pretty good cut line there in the trail.
Oh, you don't mind that, do you?
No, Just a little love.
Yeah. Forced pinstripes, right?
Mm-hmm. If you're gonna go wheeling and you're gonna push it, then odds are you're gonna find yourself in a situation where there's going to be scratches,
Character
maybe
line.
dents. You got it, character.
Character.
It's gonna be pretty tough to do some wheeling without some damage at some point, depending on how extreme you go.
Nice.
So coming up here, you got a bit of a thread in the needle. So on your left, you got some nasty paint scratching bushes, and on the right, you got a hole that you can't see really. So just stay a little bit on that line, it's good, and then I'll tell you when you turn down that hill.
Okay.
So go ahead and turn down. So here we can play a little bit with hill descent control if you want to.
Okay.
Go ahead and push that button right there. And what's neat about hill descent, so now you can just let the brake off.
Oh, nice.
And the truck will do it by itself. Now you can speed it up through this button here too, or you can slow it down with this button here. So
Just
you can
like...
see in the here in the display it has a point some miles per hour. Whoops.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
So it adjusts it to that.
Right there.
So you can adjust that number for whatever you want it to be.
And it will also go uphill that way, right?
Oh,
Or
no.
Okay.
There's just
okay.
so much torque, you're just idling up.
I think you know what the thing was. The Power Wagon had the same kind of features that I drove recently.
Oh, yeah, it's exactly the same.
Power Wagon had a little bit more power though.
Yeah, well.
It had crawl uphill on its
Yeah,
own.
well, it's a lower crawl ratio, and I got a 6.4 Hemi instead of 5.7, so you got a lot more power.
Yeah.
So up here is where we showcase departure and approach angles. So
Okay.
go ahead and turn down to that hill.
Okay, let me just take the camera.
Right.
Okay, first look at your window. We're doing it right.
It's appropriate, right?
And then down here, that's where we're going to head into. So from here, it doesn't look so bad, but trust me, it's pretty bad. Did you get mud all over yourself?
That's part for the course, man.
We keep the
It's just gonna happen.
Keep the crawl control on.
Yeah, you can use hill descent control if you want to.
Hill descent. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to, it's up to you. It depends on some people find it difficult to use. Some people are really happy with it. But when you're doing push-ups and your arms get kind of tired, what happens to your chin? Well, it dives down into the dirt. So same thing here. If you compress the suspension while you're going through this, you're going to lose ground clearance and you're going to dig the front end. Now, I've got the air suspension all the way up,
Okay.
and I've got a healthy skid plate on the front of this. And we've also got skid plates through the rear, but you also got to remember your departure angle when you're leaving the obstacle, because you don't want to drag the rear,
Oh yeah.
either. So you don't want to bust the chin and you don't want to drag the rear. So when you're coming up an obstacle like this, though, you got the locker on, air suspension up, and you're not even slipping a tire.
No.
Not at all. And this is a 6,500 or 6,500 pound truck, not 65,000.
Yeah, right.
That'd be pretty dang heavy.
We're not there yet.
No, it's coming. So up here is another articulation event. You just creep through that too. You'll feel the suspension flexing.
So let's talk about towing real quick. What's the towing capacity of this thing?
This particular truck, it's about 11,000 pounds,
Wow.
just because of what it has on it and the features and the 33-inch tires. The Ram 1500 can go up to 12,750. So cut a left up here and get to the main road. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn off your hill descent control. I'm going to turn off your locker, and I'm going to turn off the air suspension system. Or not turn it off, turn it down to just normal ride height.
Okay.
Now, the truck is actually pretty smart, so it won't let you drive too fast with stability control off, or the air suspension up, or a locker on, because it affects the way the vehicle drives. So if you go in a certain speed for a certain amount of time, the truck will actually automatically shift and change that parameter. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Any other like little hidden secret feature gems?
Oh yeah, but I'm gonna make you find them all.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, no, but it's really nice. Some of the things that I think again that people have a hard time with, this is the 4 low versus 4 high.
BG14.
4 high versus 4 low. If you're wheeling, it's always really beneficial. We'll catch you in a sec. All right, man. If you're wheeling, it's always decent to stay in 4 low unless you are absolutely just have to be in 2 high because for speed limitations.
Okay. Yeah, you got pretty dirty there.
Yeah. This is just the first 20 minutes. Wait till you see by the end of the day. I'm going to be swimming in one of those holes. There's an outdoor shower. I'm all good, man.
Exactly. All right. So why don't we park this? Where do you want to park it? We'll do.
Here's fine.
Okay.
Hard right.
And can we do a quick walk around? You can kind of tell me about some of the other features. Let's put the windows up, keep the AC on. Put that in drive. You'll also notice an electronic parking brake, which is very handy to have. Oh, should I pop the hood?
Yeah, there's nothing really to show there.
Okay.
It's just it's got the V8 Plus. It's going to be all dirty, mucky.
Yeah, that's true.
So we just took out the 2019 Ram 1500 Rebel. We could tell here that we did a little bit of coloring of our own. A little more of a, I guess, a mud drab coloring. You have a sport hood on it. The Rebel is unique in the fact that it has body colored bumpers that are coated. And it's all steel bumpers and a steel skid plate, plus the tow hooks. It is more of an off-road bias, so it has its own styling. The 33-inch tires, obviously with 17-inch wheels, so you can actually decrease the tire pressure if you want to without damaging the wheel, because if you go with 20s, it's not the same. Like we talked about before, you got the built-in shocks, all 4 corners, and air suspension system, so you can lift the truck up 1.5 inches or something for better ground clearance. It's actually 4 different settings. You got entry exit mode. My mom loves that. You can hit the remote. The truck actually kneels down for you to get in and out of it. You got normal ride height. There's even an aero mode, so the truck slips through the air like a salamander through the mud. Now moving along the side of the truck, if you look in the back, and it's new for 19, is this gigantic cab, so you have more space than anybody else does in the segment for a half-ton truck. Plus, running down the road and you're out for a little longer than you expected, there's plenty of room in here to take a nap.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm not a big guy, but it's still nice. But when you're competing with SUVs and sedans and such for family space, that pickup trucks really offer everything all the other vehicles do, except for you got the bed for added utility.
Exactly.
And you need more space, so you got hidden storage areas.
Nice.
And around 1500. Move around to the back.
Oh, I do have a quick question. So there's an option called the Ram box. Is that available on the Rebel?
It is.
It is.
It is a 5.7 or 5'7" bed.
Okay.
Something else we added too is the drop tailgate. Now it drops easy from whatever distance. So no matter what distance you drop it from, it doesn't have to be wound all the way back up. Plus you get a bed divider system, and you can do these movable anchors, and then of course the easy to use trifold tonneau cover. We have a new bed step you can put off the corner. I opted not to put it on this truck because we're going to be doing some heavy wheeling and I want to drag the bumper around. But that's the 2019 Ram 1500 Rebel.
Cool. And this is Nick Cappa, Mr. Ram.
Thanks, man.
Cool.
I'll run with it. I'll own it.
Thanks for watching. Please leave a comment below. Nick will read them. And like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Look forward to the hate mail.